About ready and I can hit go live.
Go live.
Okay. And I am live.
Oh, we never got Adam back. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining us. This evening's UniteDeFi Roundtable. Um, my name's Chris again, aka Meta Captain from MetaBUSDCoin. We are a VR project that is focusing on bringing to life marketplace in the virtual realm. I'm gonna pass it around the room. Let everybody introduce themselves real quick. Rabbit.
Oh man, why you gotta make me go first? My name is Crypto Rabbit. I am the Chief Communications Officer for Reflex Finance. We are, like most people in this room, a deflationary token on the Binance Smart Chain. We pay BUSD, and we are shortly going to have a DEX and Launchpad live. So, yeah.
She just drops the mic like that. Atlas.
I can't really drop mine. I'd have to kind of like shove it to the ground, because it's got this arm attached to it. Unless I break the arm. Oh, hi, everyone. I forgot we're live. My name is Crypto Atlas. I cover various cryptocurrency projects. And, just a little public disclaimer. This is a sponsored video for me. And I am happy to be doing these roundtables covering with lots of different developer projects. I also do AMAs with individual projects. I do general coverage on my own. And I also do weekly roundtables with the sexy Adam Bergman over there. Hopefully his microphone is working right now.
Yeah, I believe it's working right now. How's everyone doing tonight, man? Thank you so much for having me back on the show, Meta Captain. Pleasure. As always, Crypto Atlas. Pleasure. And Kevin, definitely pleasure, my man. And the fakish Slim Shady, man. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
All right, buddy.
We're gonna just pass it to him. Let's just go with the fakest Slim Shady. Would you like to give yourself a quick introduction?
Yeah, definitely. So there might be some of the other devs from Affinity coming on, but I'm Paul, aka the fakest Slim Shady over at Affinity BSC. We'll see if our CEO Chris gets on because he'll hate it if I talk too much about the project without him.
That's funny. Awesome. How about Kevin?
Yeah, Kevin, also known as Totenmacher, CEO of BUSD Buffet, deflationary token, BUSD rewards. We try to combat low volume affecting rewards by having a kitchen utility that buys and sells other tokens and takes the proceeds from that and distributes it back to the community in various ways. Also starting a token incubation program to help mentor new projects along as they get started with their ideas and contracts and things like that.
That sounds very exciting. How about Rodney, real quick?
Yeah, I'm Rodney. So I am the CFO of Metabolic. They decided it was like a good idea to, always take the finance guy and always make me do the AMAs because for some reason I like talking to people. But usually between me and John, which John couldn't be here tonight, he has some things going on. We usually cover a lot of the AMAs and collaborations with other projects. So really kind of deep into the unified DeFi, but Metabolic, we are not a deflationary token. We actually need all our tokens because our project is going to be utilizing every single token of Metabolic within the ecosystem of our infinite game that we are developing. So we are creating a game called Infinite. If anybody has actually seen any of the artwork or the teaser that has been out there, you can see what kind of game that we are creating. So it is an NFT-based game, and the Metabolic is actually going to power the entire network. So every single token of Metabolic, we are absolutely going to need 100%. But it's a project that, here within the next, by the end of the year, we plan on having a playable beta version that is going to be available for it.
That's very cool. Very cool. EJ.
What up, everyone? EJ, team lead for EverReflect. We are a reflection token on BSC as well. 15% BUSD reward. Our big claim to fame is that our utility that'll be coming out later this year will be a NFT ticketing system for multiple locations, venues, live events, working a lot more in the general public, into general audiences to sell what I love, because I worked in the space for 21 years, entertainment, event planning, and festivals. So thanks for having me here. Meta Captain, you're my hero.
You're my hero. Hey, Chris.
He's your meta hero.
Chris from Affinity. We're going to refer to him as Chris for the rest of this evening, and we'll refer to me as Meta. Would you like to give yourself a quick introduction?
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, call me Chris, call me whatever you want to call me. But yeah, thanks for having me here, Meta. Good to talk to you again. I am the CEO of Affinity. We are a token on BSC that is reflecting in pegged ADA and BUSD. We also have a software that we have developed called Adapt, which allows the transfer of BSC and Ethereum tokens across peer-to-peer and business-to-business using a username rather than wallet address, as well as an incorporated swapper. And we do have a mobile app version of that coming probably within the next 6 weeks or so.
And they do have public open source APIs coming as well for that Adapt system platform. Very exciting. I'm very excited about that. I don't know if y'all can hear it in my voice, but I am super excited about what they've got going on over there at Affinity and how they've been able to bridge that ecosystem and really fix a problem that I think all of us suffered whenever we were noobs in the ecosystem. So we don't even consider it now, like very often. But do you remember how tough it was to like navigate actually sending funds to people and all that good jazz? Because I do. Anyways, sorry, sidetracked. All right, I'm gonna quickly go ahead and open up the floor and ask everybody a general question. It's gonna be the same question for everyone, but I'd like each team to just kind of take it individually and see where we go with this. If there's one specific thing that you've got coming up in the next like month to 2 months with your project that y'all are working on, any details that you can give, can we take this moment to release some information? Let's start with Rabbit.
What?
you had to know this was coming at some point.
We did release a screenshot of our decks today, and we are going to also put out some screenshots of our launchpad coming up and kind of just our whole general setup. Outside of that, if I say anything, Miles will hunt me down. So
okay, so is that like a strong no follow-ups?
No.
Is there okay, so is there anything like special or unique that I should get excited about for the decks itself?
No, I mean there are, but I can't say.
Sorry, these are tough questions.
Now we're currently in the process of getting everybody to claim their rewards. So if you haven't reclaimed your rewards and you're watching, do that, because you have to do it by Saturday. Go to the connect to the website, claim, not unstake your rewards. And then we're going to switch to version 2. And when we switch to version 2, that gives our contract a lot more flexibility for the things that are coming down the road. And it also is going to allow us to go cross chain. So there are some cool things coming with the launchpad and the decks. I just am not allowed to tell you yet. So
can you tell me if you can externally update your router from your contract on V2?
Look, I'm just the pretty face and the person who talks everyone's ears off. All that technical stuff is Ray. So yeah.
All right. Sorry. You know what? I'm gonna, before we go on to the next person with the same exact question, I'm gonna go ahead and spice it up and ask Atlas if there's anything that you're most excited about that's going on right now in your universe. Is there any news that you want to talk about or anything like that?
I'm doing some things with NFTs. That's all I'll say right now.
Oh, okay.
I got something extremely big extremely big that's going on. But I'll hopefully be giving information in the next 2 weeks on that.
It's huge, huge information, he says. That was my Trump impression. It was terrible. All right, EJ, same question for you, man.
Yeah, we're still in the process of, especially this month, that we're beta testing all of our NFT tickets. So the events that we have lined up will start taking place. People will be able to go and redeem those. Another thing that's not taking place so soon, but is pretty awesome from my perspective, is that a lot of my background is working with guys with AEG and with Live Nation, and starting that discussion with getting production set up, because unlike in crypto, event planning is usually a 12 to 18 month process. I'm based here in Lansing, Michigan, but already discussing with colleagues about doing an Ever Reflect Music Festival, which is on our white paper as far as the sponsorship goes, but looking at doing a full-fledged music festival here in my home state. Get some bands lined up that I'm excited about, just because it's something that I do already, and probably more geared towards the alternative music genre. But scoping out spaces right now, getting the staging and lighting and all that stuff lined up, because we're going to be, we're crypto and we're DeFi and we're a utility token. And I'm going to be doing all of our marketing basically to the general populations of festival planners, the general public, and that group. So I'm really, that gets me fired up, because I'm a big music fan and definitely want that incorporated into this part of my work as well.
Very cool. Real fast follow-up question. Favorite musician or band?
Favorite musician or band? I mean, it's I have to go old school to the first band I ever saw is U2 and like Bono. And actually, I was just with my mom the other day and I saw a t-shirt for Joshua Tree. So I think if I had to just pick one, and I can't even remember if I said this to Dirty Mike before, but that's kind of like one of those bands that have just stuck with me now that I'm 40, and I've listened to every single one of their albums. And because it was the first concert I really ever saw live, it's kind of ingrained into my blood. And I know a lot of people don't like Bono and all that stuff, but I would say that's
I legitimately led that question with quick follow-up, EJ.
Yeah, but I'm not and I'm tired, right? So oh, there's other people here. I'm sorry.
Hey, I'll say this. I don't like Bono, and my favorite band is actually Muse, and they opened for U2 several years ago. And I went, so I was like, I have to go because I have to go see Muse. And then I was like, okay, I got to stay and watch U2. It was actually a really good concert.
That's cool. I booked Muse 2004, the Breslin Center.
Oh my gosh, they're my favorite. I love them.
Cool though. Yeah.
Love.
I'm old.
You're not that old, man. All right, Kevin, same follow-up question. What is the thing that you're in the immediate near future, 1-2 months, excited about, and any information that you can give directly related to your project?
Well, first, for EJ, you're not that old. I got 3 years on you. And I also wore my favorite hoodie for you. Go Blue.
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm going to send you a private message on Discord.
Fair enough. So, yeah, BUSD Buffet, we're coming out on April 1st with our BTIP, the BBFT Token Incubation Program. We're essentially going to have people who have ideas for tokens, but really aren't sure where to go with that. We're going to walk them through their contract development, how to figure out their tokenomics, what they're going to do for their launch, what launchpad to use, how to set allocations for private and pre-sale and their LP and all that good stuff. We're going to have stuff on our website ready to go on the 1st. There'll be a contact form, and we've got a few people lined up right now that we've been talking to. But yeah, that's it's just to help people come into the space and launch a successful project. I know when we started going, there was a lot of input from other projects. It's because you just don't know. So kind of take them by the hand and say, these are things to avoid, and these are things you should do ahead of time to make sure you're well prepared.
So even like taking projects and guiding them to certain launch pads, maybe.
Mhm.
Wink, wink.
Indeed.
All right. All right, Rodney, Metabolic. If there's one thing going on in the next, month, 2 months, directly related to your project that you're most excited about, what is that?
Just one.
Well, just one. You can only name one. It
Just
has to
one.
be one.
If I give you two, then it nullifies everything.
It does. If you give me two, it disqualifies and everybody
And you're
sells.
gonna
I've
kick
seen
me
it
out of the
happen.
round table. It's like you're done.
Yes.
He's gone. Oh gosh, I'm gonna probably. Gosh, this is a tough one because honestly, within the next month, we have like two really big things coming out. So
I would say this is pretty easy for you, bud. I know what's going on.
No, listen. I know it's like, oh, Polygon, like Polygon's huge, but here is the thing: is leading up to that, and like as soon as we launch over on Polygon, we have the NFT marketplace launching with it. That's what I'm actually more excited about is the actual NFT marketplace because
Okay, so just answer with I'm launching an NFT marketplace
because
on Polygon.
that's just the thing. That's our bread and butter that we're building this entire game around. So I'm like super stoked about it, man. So it's in the process. It's getting all the kinks worked out of it and just trying to get everything up and running. So
you're CFO. Give
Yes,
me a technical analysis real quick. How is Metabolic going to derive revenue from this NFT marketplace?
So from the NFT marketplace, the price of the NFTs, we're still in discussion of how much the price of the NFTs are going to be, but majority of where these funds is going to be going straight back into the development of the actual project. So a lot of the revenue is going to be based off the actual tokens though, and what we have on them. So like I said, everything's going to be poured mostly into development. We got some of it's going to be going into marketing. And we have a goal that we're trying to aim for with the NFT marketplace that we want to hit hopefully pretty quick, especially with a lot of the investors, because this is going to be like a direct link for the people who are like investing in buying these actual NFTs that we're planning on. I guess the best way to say is like have hopefully early access to the game and hopefully beta test it. So that's the ideas that we're going for with it, and we're planning on using this revenue to continue the further development of overall the game, and hopefully just ramp up marketing, because once we ramp up the development, we get the project a little more concrete for everybody there, where we have something tangible, and then we can just really just hammer out the marketing full force, because then we got the full project going out.
Not a problem. Interesting. We will circle back around to that here in just a moment. Mm-hmm. Affinity, you guys got a couple people here. Who wants to best answer this question?
I'm gonna take it. First, let me apologize for not having my camera on, but I joined short notice. I noticed my camera wasn't working. I didn't feel like messing with it. Next thing you know, it turns on, and you never know what I look like. But anyway, so one of the things that I'm most excited about, and you touched on it, is the APIs. Aside from having the mobile wallet coming out, which is great, but we had to establish APIs to obviously create the mobile wallet. But by releasing them to the public, what this is going to allow us to do is actually work with other projects more than we already are. So if anybody is out there that has any kind of service that requires a payment service or a login, you're creating something that's Web3, Metaverse, or anything of that nature, the APIs that work through our Adapt software actually connect a username to a wallet address, which, for anybody that's out there listening and or don't know anything about, Web3 and the way things are going, connecting with your wallet to a lot of applications is how you maintain control over your Web3 environment. So by maintaining a username that you can carry around with you to all of these different sites, into all of these different products, where nobody needs to know what your wallet address is, or if you're logging into something, you automatically get that same username every single time you log into anyone that's using the Adapt callbacks. That's massive. We have a couple of projects out there already that are looking to integrate Adapt into their mobile wallets themselves, and a couple of other Metaverse projects we're looking at. So in the very short term, definitely the APIs. This is really going to set the stage for what Affinity's been working towards all this time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally extremely excited about it. I think it's going to help facilitate a lot of our development that we're working on. We have like proximity transactions in our metaverse games, where so it's peer-to-peer interaction. If you're near each other, you're allowed to like do your approvals and stuff like that. But essentially, I'm like 99% sure I can power it on Adapt. I'm just waiting for those APIs.
and I know for the most part they're done. We just need to make sure they're, obviously functional and secure, and then get them up on the website. That way, they can be pulled by whoever needs those APIs or wants to use them.
I mean, it's definitely exciting. Just in general, again, I referenced it at the start. Just in the start of your ecosystem and where you guys are taking it. Again, everybody talks about making things a bit easier for the incoming consumers of crypto, and you guys are somebody who obviously has put that at the forefront of your entire mission statement, and you gotta love that.
Yeah, appreciate it. And I do want to correct. I did get a text to correct myself. I might have said wallet. Probably getting ahead and to speaking about the other wallets that are going to be incorporating, but we are not developing a wallet. It's a standalone app that will connect to a wallet.
Nice. Fantastic. Adam, you missed the original start of the question. So what I asked everybody is, what are they most excited about that they've got going on with their project? And when I say project to you, obviously I mean the Adam Bergman show. The man, the myth, the legend himself. What are you most excited about in your universe right now?
Yeah, with all of my 70 viewers, I appreciate that. The man, the myth, the legend. Thank you. Before I even go into that, it's so funny you guys brought that up, and I was thinking. So I did videos for your project, of course. I did video for Affinity, and I was like, "Yo, this shit would be dope in the metaverse." Like, and I really got your concept, Chris, of what you want to do, and it would be really cool to have Adapt power that where. Even if I'm paying for an advertising on that, table tent, I'll pay you through Adapt. I'll be like, I want my advertisement right now, Chris. Here's your $20. Come on, do it right now. I think it would be really cool and just make your whole metaverse experience probably just a bit better, So I think I'm really excited about that. As far as my show, I actually just separated my channels. I did 2 separate channels. I started one just for traditional finance, like stocks and real estate, things like that, boring stuff. And with my channel now, I'm focusing on actual DeFi, how to use DeFi. So I'm going through a bunch of different blockchains like Cardano blockchain, Algorand blockchain. I'm going to be doing AVAX and a bunch of other ones and actually using the DeFi space. I literally bought real estate on Algorand blockchain. It cost me like 8 cents. Tangible real estate, not NFTs, and you collect rent and everything. It's amazing with paperwork and everything. Me and the entire Wolf Pack. Shout out to the Wolf Pack. That's Team Adam Bergman. We all buying the same properties. We call it the crack house. It's the funniest thing in the world. So yeah, but bro, like, and then there's another app that I'm looking at right now that's we're able to buy music rights and get royalties on people's music. I mean, that's true DeFi, and you could see how much more excited I am about DeFi than when I spoke to you like a month ago, because I'm honestly starting to understand the world within the world, and I'm super excited about that, man. I'm just going to tear up so many blockchains, so many projects, and if I find a project I don't like, I'm going to shit on them.
Jesus. Okay, well, so he's going to tear up the blockchains, everybody. All right. Atlas, is there a question that you would like to ask any of these projects that we have sitting here this evening?
Put me on the spot to try and think of a good question.
Oh, we can come back to you. I can ask questions. They love my questions.
I'll come up with a juicy question. So come back to me on the next one, okay?
Both of you, Adam and Atlas, come up with a good question individually for anybody on the panel here. And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and actually circle back around to Rabbit. So This DEX that you speak of, is this DEX going to be a DEX that's immediately tied to PancakeSwap? So just like a forwarding router, or is this going to be a private liquidity DEX? So you're going to operate with your own pool and start to function from there. Okay, so I know. Never mind. Okay, we can. Let's. I'm so sorry. That was.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I know the answer. Well, I'm pretty sure we're on our own. I'm not 1,000% sure. Like I said, this is Ray's. Like that's Ray. I just like handle the social media and the hi and the From what I understand, like so, if you come to us and you launch with us, you can choose to immediately go to our DEX, or you could choose to go to PancakeSwap. So I'm assuming we are on our own.
Oh, very cool. Very, very cool. That probably answers my internal questions. I won't share those answers with anybody. Like,
if I'm wrong, I will clarify on Twitter, but I'm like 99.9% sure that we're our own little thing.
Now, remember, you saw what happened to other people when they're wrong. Anyway.
Like I told Ray, I was like, you have to be there because I don't know these questions. I'm just here to like pass on the cute and fluffy stuff. And yeah,
he might have tried to join. I'm like broke apparently, and I don't have the right plan for StreamYard. And
he
it told me
a work event tonight, and there's a lot going on, so he's pretty busy.
Yeah, it told me I was supposed to upgrade because one other person was trying to join. It could have been Affinity's crew. They roll deep, apparently. Look at them.
No, Ray just kicked me out to the wolves by myself, so I'm here.
Nice. Rodney, I did want to come back to you. I'm sorry, bud. I do have some questions for you.
Yeah, please ask
Chris,
away, man.
I'm ready whenever you are, by the way, for the questions.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to pull back from Rodney, and I'm going to let Atlas shoot off his question real quick. Atlas?
Oh, I thought you were saying that you're going to Rodney first.
I'm not going to. No.
Okay, so that's actually two questions. One of which, Crypto Rabbit. I have one of my viewers that's wanting me to ask you because you're from Reflex about Ryan Arriaga. They're suspecting that he's going to be working at Reflex. Do you have any comments you can do on that? No comment? Okay.
Dude, Reflex has got all the great questions tonight.
So that was one question. The other question that I have for the general community, for you guys at least, is what is your primary route that you're taking right now to get adoption, the biggest adoption for your project?
I'm going to go ahead and answer this question first myself. MetaBUSDCoin has very simple goals in mind for our platform and our adoption of our actual token and what it takes for ours to be utilized. And we first work with brands and partners, onboard them into our actual virtual reality metaverse. This brings in their communities, and we always know that our path for growth into bringing more people into our DeFi space is through the actual VR community. As somebody who has for a long time participated in virtual reality and seen the crypto bubble last year and how that actually played out in VR and how there was very few places to go, we were like actually just communicating through like big screen and meeting up in VR chat and just like talking about stuff, but we couldn't do anything, like we could just sit there and like talk to each other about it. And we weren't able to look at any charts. We weren't able to purchase anything. We had to literally like pull our headsets off and go back to the real world to go and do this stuff. So that was like, for my personal project, that was actually kind of like the breeding ground of like, oh yeah, so this is possible and we should do it. To finally realizing that out. But as far as actual adoption on a wide scale, I personally believe, and I know EJ strongly believes the same way, the way to do it is to facilitate it without the end user actually knowing that that's what they're doing. Make it just the better choice. Whenever you talk about NFTs ownership and you talk about owning things in VR, those things are two things that just obviously go together. If anybody here has seen like Ready Player One, you already know that like all of those items that are so unique and rare and have to be able to be carried through game experience to game experience and held for long periods of time and hold that value and be able to transfer that value. Those things are obviously better built by NFTs themselves. So you can't, that's obviously the way it should go. So doing things like that and making it to where the end user is participating in it, with it just being the better solution and not knowing that that's necessarily what they're doing, is my path forward personally. I will let somebody else answer that question for themselves.
Yeah, I'll chime in because we play on each other a lot, and obviously, like Chris's mindset and what he's doing with his token correlates so closely with EverReflect. But the biggest thing for adoption for us is going into a direction that does not always have to focus on the cryptocurrency market buyer. Like, we're going for experiences. Experiences to me are more important in life than having just the next asset or the next TV screen or whatever it might be. Like, playing off of people's passions for experiences and coupling that with a slight entry into the crypto world with our utility token is going to be the key for adoption for us. I also had one question though for you guys. Well, mostly for Rabbit. Hey Rabbit, is the rumor about Mark Cuban won't stop calling you because he's involved? Is that true? Can you answer? Okay.
Y'all are crazy. And yes, our DEX has its own liquidity pool. So yes, you have to see it in there. So yes,
again, so can I ask a follow-up question to you then, Rabbit? Since
sure.
you probably have a technical advisor on the phone now. Can I assume that your V2 contract is directly related to you having your own DEX? Like that's like one of those primary reasons why you wanted to go ahead and do a V2?
No, from what I understand, that the reason we needed V2 was that the DEX and the Launchpad weren't in the original plan when the founders came in. And then, the core team came on and the founders had what they wanted and we had what we wanted. And when we sat down with the builders of the devs that are helping with the Launchpad and the DEX, they just, they flat out told us that the contract that we have now does not have enough space for everything that we want to do, in the long term. And so we could go now and, eventually have to go to V2 when we have like 100,000 holders, hopefully one day. Or we could do it now, which is, when we don't have a lot of holders, it's going to be a quicker process. There's not as many people to track down. So we just decided that now is a better time to do it versus later.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
I did know that one.
Okay, cool.
Yes. And no, I don't know Mark Cuban. If he called me, I'd be like, hey, what's up? I want to pick your brain, but I don't.
Well, that's the rumor going around.
I got a question.
Show.
So as you guys are developing your company, or like any company, not just crypto or just like in life, you need allies, and unfortunately everybody gets foes. So how does that work? How do you guys pick your allies or people that you work with, and how do you put people on your shit list, whatever that list you want to call, but you know what I mean? Like there's some do's and some don'ts in working. Like how does that come about? And you don't got to be specific with who it's with, obviously, but just I'm just curious.
They flip a coin.
It's actually pretty organic. You don't seek out somebody to think this person specifically, I want them to be my best friend forever. It's just as you are going through certain things.
You have said that to me.
Fair. But you come across problems that you've seen other people solve, and you reach out to them for a specific solution. And yeah, you just kind of like build up a rapport. And like with MetaCaptain, it stemmed just from like, hey, I know you can answer this one question I have, and then it turned into more conversations. I'm like, this dude's awesome. Same thing with EJ. So you don't really kind of like seek people out per se. It's just organically through basically team problem solving. You get to know the people, and it's just kind of awesome. As far as people being on the shit list, I try not to worry about that. You can't control that sort of thing, and it does nothing for you. So make friends, have fun, and move forward.
Got it.
Chris from Affinity, like before we go back to Atlas's question, can you answer this? You guys have been around in the space and been a name for a lot longer than any of us that are here. So I'm sure your list is probably a lot different than our list.
Oh, you want the Adams question?
Yeah, Adam's question. Yeah.
I mean, to make it as easy as possible, right? Because we do, to a point, we also filter projects, to list them on Adapt to a point, but it is still DeFi. So, we don't go through a whole, big crazy process. We still want people to be able to buy and trade whatever they want. But when we're looking at what projects that we want to affiliate with, partner with, associate with, it comes down to doing an evaluation on who they are as a project and a company and as a team. Having those conversations, where does their knowledge lie? What does their roadmap look like? What have they accomplished? Sort of the same things that you would come to do yourself if you were going to invest in a project. You want to make sure that somebody is doing the right thing and that they're trying to create innovative new technologies, or that what they're doing is not something that's an obvious scam, or even more difficult to identify, an obvious ploy to just make a quick buck and then let the project die. That's actually probably more common than a rug, if you want to call that a slow rug. So looking at identifiers and red flags for that kind of thing, and then again talking to the team, just knowing what you're looking for and identifying qualities in a person, mutual respect, and then going from there.
All right. Before we go back to Atlas's question, I just want to touch base on this real quick because I never ever talk negative about any projects in any way, shape, or form publicly, and I won't now. But I will say that most people know me as a very transparent, open-minded guy. I try to facilitate with anybody that I believe is trying to do good with the space. That being said, there are teams that do occasionally turn me down for these events. Typically, the teams will leave it very lighthearted. They'll leave it just as like a, hey, we're too busy, or we've got something going on, or something like that. I have actually had teams, though, that give me bad replies, something along the lines of, you have had on this team before, or you work with this team, so we can't work with you. So just so you know, that does truly exist in this space still to this day, and it's kind of wild. It makes me sad, honestly. That's like the best way for me to address it, is that I legitimately just open-handedly offer people an avenue to come on, share their project with other communities, and talk to executives directly. And occasionally I do get no's for the reasons of simply because I have associated with another project once before. Like, and then nothing else other than that. And I think it's weird. Back to lighthearted stuff though. Kevin, Atlas's question. Atlas, can you repeat it for him just so we hear your beautiful voice one more time?
Yeah, hi, Kevin. So my question for you is that for your guys' project, your guys' adoption, what is the primary route that you guys are taking to be able to move that forward?
Yeah, we're it's starting with so we had to prove our concept first to show that what we're trying to do, essentially generate our own volume, make sure that would actually work, and we could prove that. 5 weeks now, we've done that. So to get people on board with that,
1 second, Kevin, can you real quick tell us what you do? Like you just what is it that you're talking about right now?
Oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair. The kitchen utility, the way we're generating volume, we have a percentage of our tax goes towards the kitchen. It's a separate contract that takes that tax, and it will regularly buy other tokens. And then once a week, we will sell a percentage of all the tokens in that contract. It's currently at 20%. Uses the sell of each token to buy back our own token. Once we've rolled through all the tokens that we can sell, we take all the BBFT that we purchased and then we burn it. So those two steps are both taxed. So we're generating volume and rewards. We're also directly buying BUSD to give out more rewards on top of the volume and rewards we're generating from that event. So once a week, we're, again, building our own volume and giving out extra rewards. So yeah, the purpose for that, like I say, is because with rewards tokens, when volume slows down, it's kind of, if people see the rewards slowing down, they will tend to jump ship. We are trying to almost position ourselves as the, if such a thing exists, the safe play, where you can throw some money at it and just let it sit there and know that it's going to be continually performing week after week. So that's kind of where we're trying to position ourselves. As far as adoption, like I say, it's just making people aware of what it is that we're doing. There's a lot of hesitation early on. I think partly because of the naming that we went with and the whole food theme. It's almost comical at times, but it's fun and a little bit lighthearted. But at the heart of it, it is performing a valuable function.
I think honestly, and we've all been here. All of us, Affinity, y'all have like a really serious sounding name, but the rest of us, well, Reflex too, I guess. But like I knew I walked a thin line, like when I was picking out the actual name of the token. I was like, okay, if you go 100% serious, you won't get a single moon boy. But if you go 100% meme, that's all you'll get. So like that in itself is surprisingly one of the more like high-end decisions that you actually have to make whenever you decide to do a project. What name do I want?
And that was part of it too. Like the whole thing again was again keeping rewards steady. And we're like, well, it's all about the BUSD and it's something that encompasses a lot, which is a buffet. So like that's
very cool. All right, so Affinity, I think we let you answer Adam's question, but you didn't answer Atlas's question. Would you guys like to give a stab at that? And Atlas, would you like to ask it another time with a different voice?
With another voice? What do you want it to sound like, Elmo or what?
No, I'm joking, buddy. I'm joking, buddy.
Yeah,
How
I'll take some
cartoony of a
Elmo.
voice
Let's do
impression
it.
are we going, right? All right, so who am I directing this to? Sorry.
To Affinity, they have a whole squad. So, I don't know why Zach's not talking.
Yeah, so basically the question is, what is your primary route that you are trying to take for exposure to your project right now?
Yeah, I was going to see if Zach wanted to take this, but be quiet.
I can. Yeah.
Cool.
I know I'm usually the one talking the most. That's fine. I can take it. What we're taking, the route that we're taking currently at this point in time is, making these partnerships, as we all sit here and talk about the networking, the business outreach, all that fun stuff. Partnership marketing is really big in the crypto world. Coming from a traditional business and sales marketing experience myself, and even with Chris, it's a whole different realm. Obviously, fighting with regulation is part of it as well. It's hard to get ad space and all that fun stuff. So we found huge success so far in the partnership marketing world. But now we're really getting into our use case, whereas when the app is coming out within, we'll say, the next 6 weeks, that's where our bridge is really going to happen, getting to the people, the everyday people, on how now they can safely and simply send their crypto with just a username, right? So once it turns into a mobile app, we're breaking down that barrier to 80% of the people that we're trying to pitch this to. So really, I say it simply comes with that, but it's not that simple, of course. But as we all know, once you can put a product in anybody's hand and they can actually view it and use it, the chance of mass adoption is doubled, tripled, if not quadrupled.
Can I
Yeah,
ask you a quick follow-up question on that? The other night I was listening to I think the Twitter space, and I think you mentioned that you were going to do some of those creeper ads, like the ones that like just know what you're talking about. Is that the case?
Oh, you mean contextual marketing?
Yes, contextual. That's like
Yeah.
the legitimate name. Yes.
Oh, yeah. No, exactly. 100%. So we're actually partnering with a publicly traded company, a publicly traded ad tech company, who actually re-engineered their data scientists re-engineered their software and their algos for politics, but for crypto and NFTs. And before we got some other stuff working with them. So before pen is on paper, we're not going to talk too much about that. But on the flip side of things, I can say that they will be running essentially, again, that contextual marketing and our SEO for us. And what that means to anybody, I know they're big words, whatever else, but I'll break this down for you very quickly. What contextual marketing is the best way to put it is, as we're sitting here talking about crypto, passive income, and all that fun stuff, tomorrow you're going to go and see an ad on Facebook, Instagram, whatever it may be. That's what contextual marketing is. So as you're sitting there talking about peer-to-peer transfers or passive income, all this fun stuff, you're going to then get an ad for Affinity, things of that nature. And then also the SEO is just essentially algos running in the back end. So when people go and search on Google, our website is placed higher in the indexes, just more website traffic.
Zach, you're gonna blow up DeFi using CeFi strategies.
Man,
That's
centralization and decentralization, baby. That's how it goes.
Yo, that's hilarious. That's awesome. That's really, really dope.
Rumor has it he has Trump's marketing manager working for him.
I do. If I could, though, I do want to touch on something that EJ had mentioned earlier too, with the marketing strategy. So it's really, really difficult to market a token. We all of us here know that. So I'll use the term easier, not that it's easy, to market external factors, products, or whatever it may be that you have going on, that then helps your system and feeds the token and aids in the system of creating volume or other things for the holders of your token. So that's kind of the route we're going. That's why with Adapt and the mobile app and all these things that we're doing is more about outreaching to businesses, people that are in the crypto space, people that are not yet in the crypto space, and really creating that broader spectrum of potential holders and bringing them in, not just by advertising the token, but advertising the products in the company.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I think we all know that too. It's within your own like bubble or within your own little space. For instance, there's a couple of us here that are all directly BUSD reward tokens, and we all roughly have the same amount of followers. I think Reflex, you might have pulled away a little bit. I don't watch y'all's charts like that. But I think y'all might have pulled away a little bit. But either way, we're all roughly around the same amount of followers or whatever holders. Because we all operate within like that same little bubble. And there's only so much you can push that little bubble to before you actually have to deliver on real products and expand your offerings to people who are interested in those exact products that might be beyond that bubble that you first created with like your exact strategy. I'm going to switch things up. I've never done this before. So I'm going to actually pass it around and let each of you guys ask somebody else a question. And we're going to start, I think, with EJ. EJ, who would you like to ask a question? And just ask away. It can't be Rabbit, though, because you asked Rabbit a question.
Whatever. I was going straight for Rabbit. You knew me.
Damn it.
Well, I was being distracted because I was purchasing, full disclosure, an Adam Bergman hoodie. So you interrupted that. But Bergman can answer this for me too. Can I potentially get a shirt and or hoodie with your face on it? But the real question is going to go back to you, Meta Captain. As far as your passions and how you kind of roped me into this VR world that I'm getting involved with, what do you think is going to be one of the big tipping points in the near future because I didn't even understand completely how vivid it was until I just bought this Oculus. But now I'm very, very like intrigued and kind of obsessed with it. When do you think
Okay.
that will come?
I can answer these questions right away, sir. Alright, so there's many convergences that have been like really amazing. One of them being the new use of mobile tensor chips. With the new tensor chips going through mobile and expanding quickly within the marketplace, you should expect to see standalone headsets take like a strong leap forward in the very near future, and phones themselves be capable of powering more robust um, like uh, secondary devices, such as an Apple Glass of some sorts that we might see in the very near future that would deliver like a mixed reality to us. And I think that's when you'll see wide scale adoption. And for a while, you're still going to see like a, a bridge of sorts. You'll see an augmented reality marketplace, you'll see a VR marketplace, and then quickly mixed reality, just bridging both of those together um, through new innovative devices a little bit down the road. But in the near future, you'll see higher end VR very, very shortly. And it's like you said, we have amazing stuff now. But if you even comparatively speaking, I think Kevin maybe uses PC VR. If you use PC VR next to your standalone, you'll see like a drastic difference. And you want to be on like that PC VR level. And here in the near future, I think we will deliver that. Many breakaway technologies are working on facilitating that infrastructure that will hopefully allow it to be commercially like available quickly. Oculus, as far as I know, I think they take a loss on everything they sell just to make sure that it's adopted as widely as it is. And they've done an amazing job. For instance, you bragged about your Oculus headset, and I'm not at all trying to talk down on it. Sorry, I get lost when I talk about VR, guys. I'm gonna stop. But like I can talk about that all night. But long story short, we actually already have the breakthroughs for the wide scale adoption. It's kind of just more or less about landing the right pieces at the right time. I think, of course, Apple releasing their Apple Glass with a mixed reality interface is going to be massive. And we know they're doing that, so it's just a matter of when. I think it's slated for next year. Don't hold me to that though for sure. Sorry. Okay, so let's go with Kevin. Who would you like to ask a question for?
For both, kind of crypto or Adam, whoever wants to take this one, or both. In regards to viewerships on YouTube, you guys have to constantly be watching what's going on with different cryptos and different markets and things like that. My question is, how do you guys stay on top of all of that? That seems like it's a full-time job. I was always curious about that when I see YouTubers that cover crypto. Like, how on earth do you stay on top of everything without just like tons of coffee and things holding your eyelids open for you?
All right. So for me personally, when I go to the route of talking about, let's say, a news report, news is very trendy. And so you use outlet avenues, for example, Reddit, you could use Twitter. And when you search for these terms, or the subreddit, for example, you'll see whatever has the highest levels of engagement on it. It has the most likes, it has the most upvotes. And there's a lot of people that are really focused on that one specific thing. And so that automatically gives you a good starting talking point. If there's other projects that are kind of in the emerging sector, like, for example, how I'm covering a lot more passive income plays, I start to stumble across those because I'll see people that group them in with other projects. So over on Twitter, for example, they'll say, hey, these are my newest projects I'm involved in. And they have the hashtags or the @ and I might have just been looking up for more information on one of those projects. And then I kind of make notes because I see that there's high levels of engagement and I've only seen the one. I haven't heard of the other 2 or 3 or 4 or whatever it is. And then I go and look up that a little bit more.
Atlas, were you going to give out information about your NFTs on Discord or Patreon?
Oh, man. Okay, well, look, I'll say this right here. Chris from NBC is helping me in being able to get it ready. I've been working on something for months, and I've been talking behind the scenes with a lot of specific resources, and I'm trying to make sure that everything is as transparent as possible and trusted, and people can verify all this stuff. So when I make this announcement, I will probably give a 1-day heads up on some of the details to my patrons. And then the next day I'll be making public statements on Twitter and also in my Discord, the Roundtable Discord, just like trying to let everyone know. But this is what I'm working on, is a new space that NFTs have just started to tap into. And there's some creative things that I'm trying to add to the equation so that it's not just art that you're buying. It is something that people will see a lot of literal value in it. And I'm excited to share more, hopefully within the next 2 weeks.
Very cool. Sorry, Bergman. Take it away.
It's all good. And the funniest thing is, I think me and Atlas are probably the two most active, at least that I know of. We both bang out like 4, 5, 6 videos a day. So it's actually pretty interesting. I don't know, man. I just kind of just see what's going on, and I just make a video on it. I don't really prep much. I just start talking. I don't know. I just go over the projects, and I keep talking about projects.
What? He just got yeeted.
You just disappeared. Wow.
Yeah. He's like, you know what, guys? I need to go record a video right now. He's like, I only did 4. Yeah. I saw Atlas. Yeah. He did 5, or I don't know how many I did. He's like, I gotta go make one more than him right now.
I will honestly say that his videos are pretty cool. He's a pretty funny guy. He's back from the blockchain.
Did I do that?
I think you did. I saw your arm move, and all of a sudden you disappeared.
Bro, I thought I got canceled. Yeah, and I just talk about projects that I like, and just keep going. And
you're screwing with him now, aren't you, Chris?
No, I'm really. You know what's funny is I did like both times. I think I muted myself, and when I muted myself, he did happen to disappear. But...
No, I didn't do that. That was not me. That's for sure. That's when my hands were away. I didn't.
Hey, domo arigato, Mr. Roboto.
Wow.
Definitely wasn't me.
You're a helicopter robot. What just happened to your voice, man? Like, are we all doing character impressions tonight, or what?
We are.
Adam, your audio is like really weird right now.
Rabbit, everybody put you on the spot. Who are you going to put on the spot this evening? Ask anybody you would like one question.
EJ, have you ever heard of POAPs?
What? No, I haven't. Is that a band?
No. So on Ethereum, they have things called POAPs. And so like if you go to like one of the conferences, they have like a QR code, and you just scan it, and you get like a POAP in your wallet. It's kind of like an NFT, but not really, because you can't like really sell it. It's more like just like a stamp in your passport. And it just says like you were here, and they're like special, and they're collectibles. Is that something that you guys are going to do? Because that would be really cool.
Huh. This is the first time I've ever actually Googled it. So
look up a POAP.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Make it happen. Well, you're welcome.
Well,
I want like 1%.
And yes, that like little stuff like this, going back to even what Kevin was saying about alliances and friendships. This is the cool stuff I love about these kind of like sessions and these meetings, because we're all busy, and we're all kind of like focused on our individual projects and daily lives. But it's nice when we have conversations with people that are kind of in the thick of everything, because then it's like, all right, this is kind of cutting to the chase. It's not like this extravagant idea of, hey, you should also like go out and mint farm animals and things that are, like the random suggestions. I know you guys get at Reflex, but no, this is cool. We'll definitely be discussing this, and I'll be looking.
Look up POAPs. I know like when you go to like some concerts now and some conferences, like I know the Miami conference, and I think the ETH Denver, they had them. And then like you get like, it's almost like a stamp in your, like your digital passport, like I was here, and they're collectible. You can't really sell them. It's just like a bloop, you were here.
But it's almost like a stamp on your passport.
Yeah. So it'd be cool.
Sweet. Oh, I love it.
I don't know why I love the idea of like a super scavenger hunt with NFTs. So
Yeah,
you know,
like geocaching.
yeah, I
Yes.
think that's like the way to go. Somebody needs to just hop on it and just do it.
Do
And
it.
I'll take 1% of that, whoever you are out there. All right, Rodney, you get to ask anybody you would like a question. Is there anything that you've heard tonight so far, or anybody you want to talk to?
So honestly, I don't, man. You know, and I'm going to be dead honest. Like, I don't know a whole lot about a whole lot of the projects here, and I'm just being dead honest. Like, I've heard of the projects. Like, I know a little bit about it. I talked to EJ about some of the things that he's doing here. Talked with Affinity. If I did have any questions, it would definitely be towards Affinity because we had a chat not too long ago, and I like something that you guys were moving towards. And you guys were talking about kind of like diving into the Twitch space a little bit. What can you kind of elaborate on that just a little bit more, because it's Twitch holds a special place in my heart, and especially with gaming. I kind of want to know like your strategy a little bit more and what you guys are really trying to dive into there.
Yeah, I guess it's probably where I come in a little bit. So, gaming specifically, what we're looking towards, I mean, initially to bridge the gap into streamers. I was a streamer for a little bit myself, nothing too crazy. These guys joke about 3 viewers, but I might have topped out at 30. No, I'm just kidding. But no, so in that though, there's a huge need for these guys to, and of course, this is anybody, right? But specifically for these guys who want to grind out all these games that they play every day, they need to have some type of passive income to do so. There's no lie that unfortunately you get paid shit from YouTube, Twitch, and all these places unless you have a solid following, right? And, obviously, yes, you have to work for the money, but and trust me, and I know them, there are a lot of amazing streamers out there who only have, say, 3 viewers, 4 viewers, but also could benefit greatly from passive income. No, we're not targeting just those low people and per se low viewer count, but everybody in between could greatly benefit from this. And especially something as simple as what our app will do. It's easy to bridge these people on who may not know about crypto and can easily now use our app to safely, securely buy whatever they want right on our app. Marketing, it goes into marketing too. It's kind of like everybody always asks, how are you going to get into the real world, or how are you going to get new investors? Well, to get new investors, you have to convince new people to buy. So to get new people to buy, you have to go to new areas. Gaming doesn't like crypto. Well, frankly, we don't give a shit. We're going to go there and we're going to make a change. That's how new people are going to come into our project.
Very nice. I like what I hear. If I could, I'm gonna take it back to Rodney real quick. Just if you can, I know you say you love gaming and you guys are working on a game. I heard you talking about this game recently. Can you give me a breakdown of what this game is?
Yeah, the game it's an MMORPG. I kind of want to kind of put it into perspective. If you think about maybe like a Final Fantasy 14 type of deal, you're going around, you're doing quests, you're killing mobs, you're picking up loot, but everything's going to be NFT based. So when I'm sitting here talking about the NFT marketplace is going to be the bread and butter of this game, that's essentially it. The Metabolic token is going to be used for the transaction with the NFTs, but everything within the game is going to be an NFT. To your character, to your armor, to your weapons. You kill something, you pick it up, it's an NFT. And there's going to be rarities to it. So, you're going to be able to go through the main storyline, one player if you want, but you're also going to be able to team up with other people because it's going to be metaverse. So you're going to be able to team up with other people, go on your raids, go on your special missions together, to earn better NFT loot within the game. And, all these NFTs are going to be able to, you can take them and then you can put them on the marketplace to resell them, because like I said, it's just, NFTs are, it's no two are supposed to be alike. There's always going to be something that's going to be different about each one. But it's to kind of put that in perspective. That's the idea that it's going for. But for the artwork that we're doing, it's very cyberpunkish. It's kind of futurist, apocalyptic style of what is being developed with the game right now. But if you take that medieval aspect of like Final Fantasy, kind of throw it in with some cyberpunk, and then just throw NFTs into the mix of it, you have the infinite game.
Very, very cool. Very, very cool. I always like hearing about new games. Um, anything new in the space is always exciting. You guys are moving over to Polygon, correct?
Yeah, so we just sealed up a partnership with Polygon Studios, and Polygon and especially Polygon Studios. That's their aim right now, is to get into the gaming space and the metaverse space. So we had several meetings with them, and we were able to seal up a partnership with them. So our original goal of with the NFT marketplace was to run it on Polygon, but just to make the transaction more seamless, and with sealing up the partnership with them, it just made total sense just to move everything completely over to the Polygon chain.
Yeah, makes sense. You got Polygon Studios deal backing you up. Yeah, completely understandable. And that's whenever you guys do that, are you going to completely close support for BSC?
Why? What do you mean close support for BSC?
Like, are you just going to move full liquidity, and are you
Oh
not
yeah,
going to just
100%. Yeah, everything is getting moved over. So anybody that is a holder of the token is going to get airdrop new tokens.
Okay. Yeah. So just bridging and never mind.
Correct.
Okay. Perfect. Did you get a question? Did you get a chance to ask a question? Oh, yes, you did. How about you, Chris? Is there anybody you'd like to ask a question for?
I'm gonna go ahead and let Paul take this one.
Paul.
Yeah, so I'm willing to bet money that this is against the rules. I don't have a question for a specific person, so I mean anyone that wants to jump in can easily do it.
That's perfect.
But the main question is, when I apologize in advance. I've been told I come off as abrasive sometimes. But in general, we have this roundtable. It's called UniteDeFi. And we just saw a great example of Rabbit talking with EJ about, a new idea that can come out and be fruitful for multiple projects and stuff like that. But, what is everyone else doing to help promote the UniteDeFi? I mean, we try to help as much as we can by getting other tokens listed on our platform, and we intend to forever have our APIs open source so that anyone that wants to come in and use the API to integrate with the Adapt platform can do so. And I'm not trying to say that we do more than any other project or anything like that, but just out of curiosity, what are some of the other people doing to help promote that UniteDeFi kind of community within the crypto space?
I'll jump in, and I'll be short. We at EverReflect hosted an NCAA tournament bracket for college basketball because I'm an event planner in my blood, so doing things like that are super just comfortable for me. The amazing part, though, that gave me chills was how we set it up and asked people, Reflex, Buffet, so many of the projects. We ended up getting 10 in total that were willing to jump on board, send it out to their community. I think we had close to 600 brackets filled out. And then everybody donated a portion of tokens of $500 value, put it into one wallet. Everybody whitelisted that wallet. Put our EverReflect team in trust that we're gonna end up giving it out to 3 different winners of those brackets. But stuff like that for me is the stuff that I get excited about because of being the event planner and being able to see the community come together, because there's so many times that we lose focus. I think that we're living in this like virtual space and it's all text message and it's all just over social media. It's really cool to see people engage and have fun and potentially win something that's crypto related, but not necessarily the primary focus is the crypto. It's just community.
I know for me, we do have things that we want to do that are like stuff that to bridge gaps with other communities. But I think one of the biggest ways that you can unite DeFi, and it's not always something that's, a blast out on Twitter. It's, another project's launching and they say, hey, who did you use for marketing? What worked for you and what didn't? And I actually came to Reflex because I was doing consulting on the side for projects. I was, what does your white paper look like? How can we make it better? Those types of things. I've had a lot of people reach out to me since Reflex, and that they know that that's a little bit of my background, and say, hey, like, what worked for you guys? What didn't work for you? Like, did you get approached by these people? How do you get into this market? And, even just answering simple questions like that and giving someone direction without, expecting anything in return, I think is just as huge as something as, a blast out on Twitter. Hey, we're doing this, helping other projects come up in the space when they're lost and they don't know what to do.
I say one of the things we're doing, it's not so much community specific, but like in our Discord server, one of our team members there, Rusty Shackelford, I'm sure everybody knows him. He's got a channel on there where he'll do a deep dive into tokens and lay out basically every piece of information you'd want to know, and then a link to that token's Discord or their Telegram. With the kitchen, with the tokens that we have in there, it's people will then see that we have that in the kitchen, and they'll go and explore, like, well, I've never heard of this token, and they'll go out and look into it a little bit. So part of what we're doing as well is trying to bring awareness to other projects as well, and try to share that exposure so that we can, like Chris was saying too, or Metacaptain, pardon, we're still kind of in a small bubble where everybody's kind of all existent in this one space, and just trying to just spread everybody around to hop from server to server and say hi to other people once in a while, and just trying to do that through token awareness by people seeing it, whether in the kitchen, Rusty doing his deep dives, or just seeing it in the return ratings that we have on our tools website.
I know for me, beyond just like hosting these things, how this came about was figuring out a way to bring teams together faster and have them have direct interaction. All these guys will say, a lot of what happens actually happens here in like 10 minutes whenever we actually end this broadcast, and we're all behind the scenes just for a moment, a few moments talking to each other. I try to drive true revenue sharing between projects. A lot like Rabbit, I've been known in the space for a very long time. It's just a general consultant. I help people with sharing direct technology, direct code, and I think for many people on the stage this evening, as well as almost every project that's come on here in the past, I've done true development work for, a lot of it free of charge. And that's just something that I do for the space to give back to what the space has given me and has provided for me and for my life. And I think that's the number one thing that I can provide for the space, is being able to try to truly unify teams and projects together through direct project and development, like actual releasing products together, having direct revenue sharing, as well as integrating each other's flagship project or products, and seeing how through working together you can actually make some of those products better and expand on your offerings. It's worked out really well so far, and I hope we can just continue to carry it forward. I try to bring on teams whenever I'm reaching out to everybody. I try to bring on teams that I think in general have something to offer one another. And like, for instance, a great example of that this evening is Affinity Adapt. I think you guys have a lot to offer many players that are on this stage this evening that are eager for solutions, and being able to show the public that this is kind of how this works. Like, we're all very busy, all of us. Thank you everybody for taking time to hang out with me this evening. It's really cool that you guys do that. And we're all very busy in our own worlds, and we all would like to talk to one another, reach out to one another, and just be able to facilitate that quick, easy business relationship. And so often we just don't have that opportunity. So just trying to do that, facilitate that interaction is my big contribution, I believe. Thank you for the question.
Yeah, if I can further kind of talk about that a little bit too as well. And the one thing that we really try to focus on is, like you said, he's like we're building the bridges, we're building the relationships with other projects here. But one thing that we really try to look at, like me and John and Y Pump from Team Metabolic, is how can we utilize each other? It's like, it's great, we can all be friends, and that's awesome. That's the core of everything. But how can we utilize each other's projects? Because if we're truly going to unify DeFi and what everything's all about, it's really kind of taking a look at what each other's projects is, taking a look at your own project, and how can you benefit each other. Like a prime example, what we've done, with Dive Wallet, they're relatively new. And we talked with Gavin quite a bit about it, and it was just a good idea because what they're utilizing is something that we already planned on doing with our NFTs. And now we can have Dive Wallet, as the official wallet, to hold your Metabolic and NFTs in here whenever the game is released. So it's something that's in process on down the road. But we looked at where we can utilize the other project, where they can utilize us, because that's really what it's all about, is how can we help each other. The main thing is, Chris, what you're doing here with these roundtables. I know Nobility is really good. They have their weekly AMAs. They have a new project on every week. So you two are phenomenal at kind of getting everybody in the same room and just start kind of clashing each other's projects and just learning about each other and just taking it the next step further. But then it comes down individually between each of the projects of taking it to the next level there and seeing how we can kind of bridge the gaps even further.
No, I really appreciate all of those answers. Like we strive on our end to hit the big three wickets, which is extra team collaboration, behind the scenes communication assistance, and then public disclosure. Because how else are the rest of the crypto space going to learn about other great projects that we're collaborating with publicly or behind the scenes providing assistance if we don't, at least give them a shout out, or at least say, hey, here's another up and coming project or something like that. So I really appreciate all you guys' answers. And Chris, I'm sorry that I made everyone answer my question.
No, you're fine. Do you see that question on the screen? That's from Crypto Buffalo. It's at Zach and every other coin owner with an already established coin. Sorry, every other coin owner with an already established coin. Would you support another audit from a new audit company to help the industry if they passed your standards? I'll answer that real quick. We did our audit with InterFi Audit, and I also did a secondary one with Brew Labs because Brew Labs is gangster, and I'm cool with Brew Labs like that. So yeah, absolutely. If there's a company out there that's providing services that I think would be beneficial to my project, my community, and their project and their community, and it's worth spending like the revenue on, then yeah, absolutely, for sure. That's what it's all about, helping each other out. But and somebody else can please answer that question.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So we also already answer that question more direct. We've already kind of done that in our sense. So we have our two main audits, but we also did have another DeFi. Well, he actually audits everything across the board now. His name is Chris Skeptic, and he did an excellent self audit on us for his own project. And that's, I guess I can hammer on two things. One that you said, so if whether it's an established coin or anybody who's up and coming, if that's what you're around and you want, like, obviously I can only speak for ourselves, and anybody else who's up here, you're up here for a reason. But if you know that we're safe and you know who we are and you want an easy, vet, then do it. Like, we have no problem with that. We'll sit down with you and do your vetting process. So you can have it on paper. That's cool. But then on the flip side of things, we will continually be getting new audits, whether that's yearly, bi-yearly, we'll figure that out, because A, we don't know everything, and B, as we all know, this space is ever evolving. So you have to stay up to code. You got to stay up to date. So we will continually get audits as time goes on.
Yeah, I just want to expand on that really quickly. The key point in that, though, is that meets standards. Because anybody that's going through audits and audit companies, you really got to do your research, because an audit can hurt you just as much as it can help you if that auditing company is not good. Once that information is released publicly, and if they decide to blast it out, but they're not a good auditing company and they don't even know what they're doing, it could really hurt you. So make sure you do your due diligence even on the auditing companies before you get audited.
Man, even some of the big name
Yeah.
audit companies have been in the
Yeah, I was gonna
news
say, it's
lately.
kind of rings pretty current right now. There's another
Yeah.
situation I'm sure everybody's aware of. That's
Oh, very interesting. Very nice question. Yeah. All right. So, real quick, Adam, you look so comfortable, bud.
I'm here.
Oh, he's got
I'm just glad my headphones work. Kind of.
kind of. All right. So I got a question for you, man. I went back through some of your catalog and I kind of watched your videos and how you've evolved over time. Um, is that something that you're doing in an attempt to try to just reach a larger audience, or is that just a personal, like you have grown as a creator, wanted to try new things?
Are you talking about in my in-depth videos of DeFi or just in
Yes,
general?
your in-depth videos on DeFi
Um,
compared to some of your content that you used to make, like a year ago, for
yeah.
instance.
So again, I had a huge revelation. Huge revelation. So I always knew the technology. I know like just a little bit more than most people, but I'm not a developer, obviously. So I didn't know the intricate details, and I knew what blockchain can do and all these crazy things like contract calls and state channels and some interesting fancy ways. But I never actually used DeFi because I never trusted it because security is up to you. Lately, I started getting into DeFi more and more, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm concentrating too much on a single thing, which is a token, which is great, but there's so much more. A token is just one piece of a huge system we call DeFi. And then that system of DeFi is one world. And then there's many different DeFi worlds, right? Every different blockchain that eventually is going to connect. In the next 5 years or 10 years, we're going to have interoperability. And I'm just fascinated. So my goal now is to unite people and teaching them about actual DeFi, because I think uh, we're short selling ourselves if we don't at least learn the technology behind our most favorite projects and most favorite tokens. And so yeah, that's what I'm trying to do right now, and that direction I'm going, and that just teach people about actual DeFi. It's more than just buying and selling a token, right? A blockchain can send information from point A to point B, but that information, all it is data. And the more complex that data is, people got to understand it's more than just, let's go to the
So
moon.
that's really cool though, because you like totally answered it without answering it, because you sidestepped the question, but the passion in your voice answered it for me. It says that you're doing it for you. Like this is totally something that you're just in general interested in, and you're expanding on it for yourself, which is an honest, cool answer. Atlas, the same thing can actually be directly applied to you and your channel. I've followed your channel since a long time. So I've just watched you evolve over the time. And honest to God, I'm gonna say this, and I know some of your like listeners or whatever are gonna totally agree with me. I miss your super long live streams. Like I really do. Whenever you would just hammer out like 6 hours at a time in the middle of the night, that was awesome. Anyways, same question to you though. Have you been switching your content in an attempt to try something new for yourself, or are you trying to gain a new audience?
It's actually both. So the thing is that I have had a lot of heavy content on one specific token, which is SafeMoon, but it wasn't the only thing. Even before SafeMoon, I was doing content on lots of different projects. When SafeMoon
You did
came around,
stocks too
I was like, all
before.
right, built up more of an audience there, but I still would throw in other projects from time to time. Sorry, you're about to say?
So you did stocks too before you did SafeMoon, right? You just did like regular stocks, like
Yeah,
regular Wall Street people stuff.
I mainly focused on AMC and the most relevant news. So similar to the same style, I like to keep people up to date on what's the latest that's going on with these projects. And then I also like doing technical analysis, so I do that from time to time. What I've been shifting more to is kind of a combination where I've recently been learning a lot more about passive income projects in the crypto space that started primarily back in January. So from that point of view, I was like, whoa, all right, this is a whole other sector of crypto that I haven't really dived down into. And frankly, it's actually paying me quite well. And so just like anything else, if it's working well for me and I want to talk about it with my family and my friends, then I want to be able to share it with more people. So I like being able to make videos in that kind of sense. So you kind of combine that desire to talk about those subjects at the same time as the lack of abundance of news or topics to talk about or theorize even on with SafeMoon, just as things have kind of shifted, has made it to where with me doing this full time, I don't want to be put into a position, ideally, especially in a bear market like we've been in, where I have to resort to selling off parts of my crypto investments just to be able to pay for my everyday living expenses. So if I can maintain or do better through my YouTube, which is paying me in fiat, well, I can't just do 1 or 2 or no videos on SafeMoon. I need to find some sort of talking points. It's like, well, what is it that I enjoy? I enjoy passive income. Let me talk about nodes as a service. Let me talk about, rebasing, yield. Like there's lots of different avenues that are starting to emerge. NFTs that are providing passive income of things as well. And so I've been shifting a lot more to doing that kind of stuff and also interviewing these people that are involved in these projects. So I kind of have an idea from a person that wants to buy into projects, right? Of what are my main concerns and what have I seen community members voice in comments and videos and such. And so I can kind of bring that opportunity when I go in to have these recorded interviews with these people that are involved in these projects and have them essentially sell their project, right? I'm just here to create an opportunity, almost like a podcast sort of environment. And I feel that there's a little bit more authenticity and less of people perceiving that I have my own personal agenda because I'm giving most of the talking grounds to the other individuals.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, I'm going to drop this question real quick for us, just because I love this question. This will be our last question that's serious, and we'll wrap this up right after this. Sorry, guys. This is going on for a little while. Crypto Buffalo again just re-clarified their question from earlier, and I think this is a good question for a couple of the teams on here. Real quick, I'm going to say sorry, I'm not plugging anyone, just asking for helping the industry against rug pulls and identifying coins that launch and rug. So obviously, this has always been a problem, especially in the BSC space. And many people offer numerous solutions to this. I think what we see coming from uh, Kevin at BBFT with his incubation program is a good, solid first step. You see a lot of other incubator programs out there that through time they're able to align themselves with certain launch pads like Reflexes that as well offer their own type of protections, and there's market protections coming out. I'm a part of a project called Shieldcoin that offers crypto assurance that allows holders to protect themselves to some degree on the system. I believe innovative solutions like that is how we really protect the industry. The common blanket answer that I usually get, or most people usually give, is education. Gotta educate, gotta educate, gotta educate. That being said, educating in this space is really, really hard. Like it really is, just to be honest. I try all the time. I think all of us do. And it's rapidly growing, newcomers all the time, and new scams all the time, new ways of rugging even. I saw something recently that I thought was brand new, and then somebody else was like, "Man, that's how they did it 4 years ago." And I was like, "Oh well, I didn't know that that's how they were rugging 4 years ago." But interesting. Um, anyways, sorry. Would anybody else like to take that question? I thought it was a pretty good one because I think all of us have that on our minds. We're always thinking about rug pulls and how to stop
I think honestly, to your point, like the biggest one though is going to be launch pads. right now, I think everybody knows there's really one launchpad currently in existence that everyone uses, and they will let anybody on there. It doesn't matter who you are. You just go there and you're on that launchpad. Offers no protections, and that's part of what the problem stems from. So like what Reflex is doing, they're going to check the project first, and like if there's something wrong with what you're doing, no, we're not going to expose the general public to that. I'll let you talk about that, Rabbit, but that's kind of a good start right there. Is not even allowing crap projects to launch in the first place.
I just wanted to pop in too that you hit on we say education all the time, and I think a lot of times it gets convoluted that it has to be the trader or the holder that needs the education, but even like half of my day today was wrapped up with 2 other projects that are teams of devs just trying to figure out their pairing for liquidity pools or how they've messed up that pairing of liquidity pools. And sometimes it has to be that you ask the devs or the teams that are putting together the project the right questions, because just as much as we have all seen and been burnt by a rug, we've gotten burnt and we've gotten basically quote unquote, screwed by teams that didn't know how to basically drive a contract. And that's such a big factor that most people, you can basically, it can look like a scam or it can look like a rug because they didn't know how to do something with a simple write on the contract or a simple, pairing at the beginning because they collected too much. And there's so many times that the education needs to be on those teams. And I know that you have to like do the vetting process to be able to let people through the gate. But hopefully people are getting more and more educated on how to ask the right questions or ask, why are there this many tokens that are, sitting here in an unlocked wallet? Or why did you decide to collect 1,200 BNB in your private sale and then only pair it with 300 when you put it onto Pancake? Like those are the questions that people need to be asking as a trader or as a holder in advance to make sure you're being cautious before you even hand over, in essence, your money or your BNB to anybody, because it's like you're having. I trust everybody that's in this room, and I don't even know Affinity that well, but I know the people that trust you guys. It's like you basically are handing over a debit card to people. Like I trust in your belief and your passion for your project, so that's the way you have to view it.
Rabbit, were you gonna talk about your launchpad at all?
Yeah. I mean, I was trying not to like be all like, "Hey guys, come check us out." Yeah, we are doing a launchpad that has very extensive vetting processes. We have 2 tiers. We have the gold tier, which is basically our stamp of approval that we are saying that if this project rugs within a certain time frame, we will give you a refund. And then we have the silver tier, which is still heavily vetted. It's just not guaranteed. So, and we haven't released all the details on what all our vetting process entails, but I have seen it myself, and it is pretty extensive. I mean, at least compared to what we went through with InterFi when we launched and did our KYC, this is way more extensive than that. I think another thing, like to the point of that, it is up to the launch pads. Yes. I mean, anybody can throw a token on, the sale site that is a mixture of white and red and, not to say names,
Say it.
and, turn around and rug it. I mean, there's been, I know we've all gotten on Twitter and, had a friend or somebody that we follow say, "Hey man, I was in this pre-sale and a launch and I got rugged." And, I think we don't, and Reflex doesn't want to be like, we are going to be, I mean, yeah, we want to be like number 1, but if another launch pad comes out and they're just as good, because we need to clean up the space. We need to make it to where if you're going to launch a token here, you need to mean business and you need to be a reputable person because you're handling millions of dollars for people. And another thing that I think is really important is if you ask a question at all, I mean, and not saying like you go on Twitter or into a Telegram, you're like, yo, bro, why the F is this that way? But if you come in and say, hi, I have a question. I was looking at your contract and I noticed XYZ, can you clarify for that me? It shouldn't be you're immediately a troll or that you're fudding. It should be normalized that you can politely ask legitimate questions about why a project is doing something a certain way without being kicked out of a room. We need to make that normal, that you can politely ask questions and not get thrown to the wolves. So that's another thing that I think would really help.
I legitimately just realized that we lost Rodney. I feel so bad. Metabolic.
We miss you. Come
Anyways,
back.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Hey, do you mind if I ask you a question, Rabbit? And you don't have to answer, but if you know it, great. But otherwise, it might be something that you can look into. So to EJ's point, when you're looking at devs, aside from rugs, which is great that you guys are kind of insuring on the gold level, any potential rugs. But if somebody screws something up, how do you deal with that then? And that's not even my real question. Have you guys thought about doing some sort of like interview process or like almost like an exam for devs that are about to launch, even with simple questions like, do you know how to even deploy a contract? Do you know how to call functions of the contract? Do you know how to do, all of that to make sure that the devs are at least, somewhat knowledgeable? Okay, good.
Well, so we do have kind of like a mentorship where they can, in our packages, where if you want to ask questions or you want mentorship or you want help with marketing or anything like that is part of our package. So someone can come in and say, hey, I want to talk to you guys for 30 minutes and ask you questions. So that is an option. But yeah, I should definitely talk to Ray about that and, making sure that when we are vetting these guys, they actually.
Yeah, almost like a requirement rather than just an option, like a requirement to be
Yes.
able to answer like a standard 20 basic questions,
Yeah.
I'll chime in with this much. Like, and probably everybody on stage here knows this as well, especially, like you Affinity guys have been doing this for so long. I think all of you probably have day jobs as well. I don't, but I own a company, MetaBC, which is Meta Blockchain. We do blockchain services. I derive all of my personal revenue from helping devs all day, every day. All day, every single day. All I'm doing is helping other devs fix their contracts or help them with their launches and stuff like that. Or I shouldn't even say devs. I should just say other project insiders, people who are attached to projects that need assistance. So it's like prominent in the space is all I can say, is that like that shouldn't be as big of an issue as it is. It upsets me to some high level of degree, and that's why I love like Kevin's program there with this incubator process. That's just because that's almost where you need to bring it. Like you need to bring your idea to a team that knows what the space is like, because it's not even just like on a contract level. I spend, because I'm a dev, so I spend all my time working out contract problems, but I also farm out like many other employees that I have to work out other parts of the space, such as marketing, such as inter team communications, actual team structure, stuff like that. That sadly, it's not directly reflective of what it necessarily is in other fields and industries. I've been a part of engineering teams and stuff, and the actual DeFi space operates completely differently than what we're used to from these other fields. So yeah, in my opinion, you almost need to catch them that early. Just bring us your idea and let me help you form the entire structure if you're really serious about taking this project forward, because you need to realize certain things today, right now. This is not a moneymaker for you. This is not going to put money in your pocket. How are you going to pay for this development? How are you going to move this forward? How are you not going to enrage an entire community and then ruin your life like stuff like that people need to make sure they're considering before they move forward with certain things. And I've seen it, so I think all of us have seen it so many times with different teams where they had good intentions starting out. Depending on how things worked out, certain things happened and they went certain ways. Anyways, let's lighten up the mood real quick. Sorry, guys. Let's lighten up the mood. And let's round this out and finish this right now. I'm going to send everybody around and let's give final thoughts. Anything you want to do a shout out for, plug, anything you would like. I'm going to start it off. I've been having an NFT battle for better going on a week with my DApp. My DApp was only MetaMask working only. And finally, today, after long overdue waiting, I finally got Wallet Connect all functional, has been tested. We will launch our series live tomorrow. I will pick out an exact time.
Let's go.
I will pick out the exact time and post that in all my social channels. NFT is finally available to the public. Sorry about the long wait, guys. It took me from Saturday till now to get that working.
You know why? You know why, right, Chris? Because you decided to go with the cyberpunk theme. You just went with the cyberpunk curse. Like that thing got delayed too, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And that game did turn out good. If anybody decided to not play it in the beginning and just put it down and never picked it back up, shame on you. Pick it back up. It's fairly good. Anyways, sorry. Rabbit, take it away.
Oh my gosh. I don't really have anything. I would like to shout out my mod team, like Maddie and Chris and Mucky and Marshall and everybody in our Telegram and our Discord mod team. They're awesome. They've been cheering me on in the background. That's who I've been texting. So thank you guys for watching and for supporting us. And we've got a lot of stuff coming up in the next week or so. So we hope that everybody stays tuned for V2 and the Launchpad and everything that's coming. So I really love doing these roundtables. It's great to get to connect with other projects, outside of texts. So thank you guys for having us.
Absolutely. EJ, take it away.
Yeah, on her point, you just kind of made me change what I was going to say, but I want to say the same thing. Like a huge shout out to our mods and our admins who take the blows day in and day out. Dravo, Noodles, EP, Yoast, BP. There's so many guys in this space that give us the luxury to be able to work on our projects because it is a team project, but behind the scenes, we're doing a lot of the daily stuff, having a lot of these conversations. It's a blessing to be able to even chat with you guys. But a huge amount of gratitude to those people for our project, because we wouldn't be here if they weren't busting their butt 24 hours in different time zones when we're sleeping. And I'm super grateful for those human beings.
Sorry, I got lost. I was checking my Discord and I couldn't navigate myself back. Kevin, take it away, bud.
Yeah, the mods are great. Mine have been giving me crap this whole time because I put up a backdrop and I'm hiding all the stuff that's normally shown, including the Xerox in the closet. So for them, there's the Xerox back there in the closet. Other than that, yeah, we got the BTIP coming out on the 1st of April. We're excited for that. And yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Sorry, it happened again, literally. All right, sorry. Affinity, take it away. Anybody you want to send on up.
All right. I honestly want to thank all of you for inviting us. This has been great. I love getting together with everybody that's out there doing, what they love. Everybody that's out there trying to make this space better for everybody, educating. I do hold a couple of the tokens on here. I'm not going to say which ones yet, but I do want to look at all of them. Especially, I learned a lot about a couple of you today. Buffet, I didn't know as much as I know now. I'm coming away with a lot more knowledge. I definitely want to do more research, especially on what you have going on with that onboarding, and that's really cool and really interesting to me. And yeah, this has been phenomenal, and I look forward to next time, whether it's with all of you or next time we run into each other in other spaces. Adam, I kind of like you. Great guy, and Atlas as well. Thank you for hanging out with us.
Before I let these guys give their outs, I'm gonna do a quick roundup real quick from just my personal perspective. This is how I view everybody in like a quick sum up. Affinity, peer-to-peer crypto transaction innovators. BBFT, the first BSC ETF that I'm aware of. Reflect, NFT tickets, that simple. Reflex Finance, trying to bring legitimacy into the Launchpad and DEX process within the BSC space. All right, that's just how I like to give MetaBUSDCoin VR project. I always forget myself. So, but yes, in case you don't know who I am, I'm MetaBUSDCoin. Atlas, we're gonna leave you for last, buddy. Bergman, give me your out.
I think it's a dope space, and honestly, I see each of you guys doing your thing for your projects. I was able to speak with you guys about your projects, and I understand what Reflex is doing. I understand what Reflect is doing, and all of you guys. I think it's amazing that everyone's getting together, and I'm not just trying to say it as being corny. And I think you guys are bringing BSC up a notch because I'm sorry to say most of BSC is bullshit. So it's very good that you have legitimate projects and putting out legitimate projects and bringing up the space. I think it's very much needed to compete with the other blockchains. So shout out, big up to all of you guys.
All right, Atlas.
All right, you guys want to get something stuck in your head that I keep thinking about? Chris from Affinity, can you do me a favor?
What's up, man?
Okay, with a Southern accent, can you say "get busy living" or "get busy dying"?
Since I'm from Massachusetts, I don't know how good my Southern accent's going to be, but get busy living or get busy dying.
I keep thinking you sound kind of like Morgan Freeman, man.
Oh, man.
I mentioned that in my chat earlier, and some people were like, he's right. He does. Like, responding to that.
I get told I sound like Ray Romano a lot.
I could see that a little bit too, yeah.
I could see that too, honestly. Yeah.
But no, my finishing remarks, thank you very much for having me on the panel again and for me to be able to broadcast this to my community. And I hope that those of you that are watching in my community, we do these about every 2 weeks. Sometimes it'll be back to back given certain circumstances. And I encourage all of you guys to come and check out who's going to be on the panel the next time. So thank you very much, Chris from MetaBUSD, aka MetaCaptain, for having me on here. And always good to see you again, Adam. And Kevin, good to see you again. EJ, Zach, I've talked with you. Crypto Rabbit, Chris from Affinity. I know this is the first time that we verbally talked, but thank you, everyone. God bless.
All right, guys. Thank you all very, very much. And next week we actually will be having another one. Tune in for more information. But Boda Swap, Boda V2 token is the actual name. They will be on. Glow token and Enhanced token will be on as well. A few more. I'll release the information as soon as possible. Thank you guys for listening. What?
You said Boda, right?
Yeah. Am I saying it wrong?
What? Well, what about Bofa?
Oh, don't you start with me.
Darn it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you could, give us a like and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm. And I want to share all this great information provided by all these teams to as many people as possible. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
Good night, guys.
Bye, guys.